Good morning, welcome back. Josh, your driving instructor here, and today I'm going to tell you about what I did when I was in a car accident recently in the last month or so. You know, and this is quite a difficult topic that sometimes a lot of driving instructors can tend to avoid because, you know, they're driving around with the student all day in their cars. You know, it's bad enough when someone normal crashes the car on the way to work, but when a driving instructor crashes, they don't just crash the car, they're then in the office as well, because that's what the car is. Without the car, you can't not just go to work, you can't work at all. So yeah, so a lot of them I think always feel like you're going to jinx them by discussing the word crash. So it's quite an avoided topic. So yeah, so I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown of what happened to me and what I did and where we're at now. First of all, can I just say, anyone that's thinking about becoming a Patreon, thank you ever so much. Every penny is being invested back into you lovely people. So first I'm going to tell you what happened, then I'm going to give you a bit of a step-by-step as to what I did and the outcome. So it was a lovely Sunday afternoon. I thought I'd give someone a lesson. I've never met them before. It turned out to be a bit of an expensive lesson for me. Basically driving down a road, just a new housing estate. The road's a 30 road and I was doing about 28 miles per hour. And there's a car on my right and I didn't think anything of it. I'm just daydreaming, you know, la-di-da. And suddenly this car pulls out and next thing you know, I'm thinking, he's not going to drive into me. And the next thing I know, he's just grinding down the side of my car. So he was. And you know, what I was a bit surprised about is how shaken up I was, you know. It wasn't a bad accident at all, but I was still really shaken up. My hands were shaking. You know, I've been driving over 10 years, so I was surprised at how much it affected me. I guess what the surprise is it never actually stops becoming surprising. Anyway, the first thing I did is checked if I was injured. I wasn't injured. The other guy wasn't going to be injured because, as I say, it was a grind down the side of the car. There was no immediate whiplash or anything like that, so there was no need to call an ambulance. Second thing I did is I pulled my car up to the curb to get out of the way of the other cars. There was no point in blocking the road. It was just a pointless situation. It wasn't a bad crash. Next thing I did is I got out the car to have a chat with the guy. Bless him, he was pretty peed off. Not particularly with me, apart from me maybe being there for him to crash into. But yes, I got his name, I got his telephone number, and I got his number plate. Those were the three main things I needed to get. Now the next thing for me, this is really imperative if you get in an accident, you know, as long as it's not a serious one, and you can prioritize this. But yeah, if you end up in a bit of a bump with someone, make sure you get photos. All right, make sure you get photos of the damage to both the cars. That's what I did. I got photos of both the damage to both cars, photos of the junction where it happened, just photos of everything, a video if possible, because when you get home to actually speak to the insurance, you know, facts become muddled and facts actually can bend a little bit. And by the time you actually get to speaking to the insurance company, you don't know what fact or fiction anymore. So if you've got those photos, you can actually send those across and help build a picture for the insurance company to better defend you. So anyway, next the guy starts asking me if he can avoid the insurance companies and maybe do it privately. And I'm a pretty stand-up guy, pretty reasonable guy, you know. And you know, I wouldn't have a problem with this. It was just a side door that he'd bashed in. But unfortunately, it's not just my car, it's my business. So it's not just replace the door, get someone around the corner to pop a new door on, fix the door back to perfect condition. The time it takes for someone to fit it, not just paying them the time while I'm sitting at home not teaching lessons, or the cost of a courtesy car as well. It's just a risk I couldn't take. So I had to politely decline that and had to go through the insurance company, which he did understand, although he wasn't happy about. But I'd always advise you go through the insurance company. It's just the safest option. And it's what they're there for, it's what you're actually paying them for to do their job. So let them do their job. And just to be clear, you know, this was very clear cut, the other person's fault, you know, but I didn't get out the car, start throwing blame. I didn't mention it at all. Very polite. There's no point, you know, it's not my job. It's what I pay the insurance company for. There's no point. It's not going to achieve anything by me shouting or anything else. Didn't even comment. We both knew what the situation was. We just did what we had to do, which was exchange details and move the hell on. So next, anyway, I got home, contacted the insurance company straight away. The insurance company I'm with is BG Insurance, and I was very surprised at how good they were. They put me straight in touch with their claims department, which I guess is just a solicitors. So it's just Win Solicitors. I spoke to someone called Ben from Win Solicitors, and I've got to say I was very pleasantly surprised. This guy stuck with me throughout the whole process. It's not swapping and changing. If I had any issues at all, you know, anything at all, I'd drop him an email. He'd call me straight away just because it's easier, which I really appreciated, and talked me through everything because it did get a little bit complex for me. You know, it's not often I get in a crash. In fact, it's the first time in a very long time. So I didn't really know what the situation was. So that was absolutely brilliant. So you need a solicitor. Ben at Wins is your guy. So anyway, spoke to solicitors. First they explained exactly what happened. Then I got all the photos and videos that I had across to them. I did have a dash cam, but he said probably wouldn't be needed because it was that clear cut, but at least I had it. Next, it was sorting out repairs and courtesy cars. And I thought it was going to be a nice, simple, or, you know, Ben would just, you know, send a courtesy car from the solicitors and hunky-dory and he'll come and pick my car up and off you go. But obviously not. Solicitors don't have cars and they're not repair companies. First, he put me in touch with a car company called On Hire. They contacted me to try and arrange the car repair, but this is where it starts getting a bit complicated. They then contact another company to contact me to book the car in for a repair. That was pretty fine, you know, that was sorted. That was just a case of speak to them. They arranged the time that they would come and collect it. Hunky-dory. The complicated bit was On Hire then put me in touch with another company to actually drop a courtesy car off for me separate from the place that was repairing my car. Well, this is where I ran into some problems because I'm teaching people in my car, even with a dented door, and so I can't answer the phone. So I did manage to speak to them and just say, listen, do you think you could call me back at a reasonable time? You know, they refused to call me back. They said no, but you can call us. Fortunately, it's an 0344 number. I waited in half an hour queue on this premium number for no one to answer, and it's just ringing, so I don't even know if anyone's going to answer. So I emailed them and requested, you know, the courtesy car. Of course, it never actually came when On Hire said it was going to come, so I ended up for about 3-4 days without the courtesy car or any car, so I had to explain that to my students, which I wasn't too happy about. So yeah, so that was VG Hire or something like that, but no, I wouldn't recommend them at all. They didn't even apologise. Eventually got a courtesy car, lovely car, must say, with dual controls. Petrol, not a diesel, which my students are used to, which I did request, but whatever. And then it was a case of my car being repaired. This is interesting, guys. How much do you reckon it costs for a dent in a door? I was thinking maybe 500-600 quid, you know, dear do. 3.5 grand. Crashing your car is a very expensive hobby. Also got a call from the other person's insurance company saying they'd admitted fault and they just wanted to clarify some details. I don't exactly know what they wanted to clarify, but again, that's what I pay a solicitor for, so I politely declined to give them any details and instead put them in contact with my solicitors because that's what they're paid for. So the car is still in the garage. Just had a phone call yesterday saying they're just finishing off a bit of a paint job on it. So I'm hoping another week or so and she will be back on the road. I will say though that it's taken around a month in the garage for the dent in the door. And that is it for my story of driving instructors crashing cars. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to have a look at my Patreon. I will see you all soon.